aliens to ghosts, demons to angels, and from shadow people to the outlandish. Heidi Hollis is the Outlander.
Welcome back, everybody, to me, Heidi Hollis, the Outlander. Remembering, always if it's weird, we're here, and now you are too, so why are you staring at me? Okay. We are giving you advice and insight on outlandish topics, and the phone lines are always open at 1-888-919-2355, but I realize most of you are listening to this as an archive, so archive this, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm going to get to my guest for this evening. Chris Kehler is a quantum energy healer that uses the pendulum chart method of finding the cause of any health problem. Chris then uses sacred geometry, such as pyramids, to neutralize the energy of the stressor in the body. I think I have some stressors. This protocol has been very successful in many different health problems, such as any heart and cardiovascular disease, diabetes, shingles, arthritis, etc. Chris also works on many other types of spiritual issues. Joe has lots of issues. We're going to get to that, such as entities, attachments, even aliens, mental problems. That's Joe. No, it's not Joe. And addiction. And I would like everybody to go to www.chriskehler.net and check it out. Everybody, round of applause for Chris Kehler. Woo, the crowd's going wild, Chris. They just can't take it.
I can't handle it either.
Oh, gosh, that's so exhausting. So, Chris.
Yes.
You know what? I like to go and delve into a lot of different things because this is a freakish world that we live in, and sometimes we have to use different approaches that's not like necessarily in the scientific books. So let's go there. What on earth and how on earth did you get into quantum energy healing, and what is it?
Okay, good question. First of all, I'll tell you how I got into this. I've only been doing this for the past 6 years, okay? Before that, I was heavy into the printing trade. I was in there for about 30 years, whereas about 8 years ago, my first wife passed away. She had a rare disease called scleroderma. It's a rheumatoid arthritis disease. When that happened, it enabled me to retire. So at 45 years old, my financial planner looked at me and says, "Chris, why are you working?" So I looked at him and says, "I don't know. Let's take care of that." So I retired from the printing trade. Subsequently, I spent the next 2 months sitting in my backyard drinking beer, and my neighbors would look at me thinking, "Chris, you've lost it. You need to get yourself back together." So the old saying goes, "One door closes, another door opens." I had heard a little bit about the alternative realm of working with health problems and stuff. And one day I was walking through one of my local malls in the city of Winnipeg where I live. And I saw a sign in a store that mentioned that this type of work. And, I just thought, I think I'm supposed to go in there for some reason. I walked in, started talking to the owner of the shop, and he started showing me a few different modalities like muscle testing and foot bath detoxes and all these herbs and stuff. And I found it kind of interesting, the modality he was doing by, waving his hand over your body and telling you you've got a liver problem, you have a rib out of place, you've got a headache. And I'm like, you're right. Okay. So something's got to be to this. So I basically bought a course on how to do this muscle testing in Winnipeg, started working with this guy on a daily basis. And then from there on, just started meeting other people in this alternative realm of energy. And within a year, I had acquired 4 different modalities of energy work, took a couple courses, and started my way to doing healing and actually opening a clinic where I am now today.
Well, holy smokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So, I have to tell you, when I hear somebody says they're a healer, right. I only know of one true healer. That was Jesus. So,
Okay.
like, do you feel as if you're more of an instrument or a tool that's focusing the healing, or do you think it's the power within you doing this?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, I hear a lot of that too. Well, we're the tool. We're okay. Well, that could be it. I also feel that because I'm so incredibly open-minded when it comes to this, that's an aspect that has to be involved. So I think it's a two-way street. There's a little of each that is completing what I'm doing. So yes, when I'm using my sacred geometry instruments like my pyramids and beamers and different rings, they are connected through Christ, and that healing is coming from that realm of the universe doing the work. So there is a tool involved, okay? And all I do is hold a tool. I give it intent, okay? I tell it what to do. When I use my pendulum, and let's say you come to me and you got a pain in your left hip that nobody can find out what it is, and when I use my pendulum and it says you have a buildup of iron in the iliopsoas muscle in your left hip, and I tell that excess iron to leave the muscle, all of a sudden it goes away. That's what's going on.
I see. So it's kind of it does sound like you're trying to draw from the good source, so the good source of God, essentially, to focus in on. I see what you're saying. Okay, I mean there are many people who go around in fluffy robes and stuff and say they're the ones doing it all, but you don't look like you have a robe on in your picture.
No, I'm very down to earth.
Yay.
When you're doing this type of work, there's a lot of people who can really get off track and start straddling dimensions and
way.
Way. They become a little off the wall, and people look at you funny. When people look at me and listen to me, they go like, "Well, you're a normal person." And I say, yes, I'm a normal person. I play in a band. On the weekends, I go to my trailer. I drink some beer. I have some barbecue. There's nothing different about me except that I'm a healer.
I hear you. It's. I think that those of us that are involved in things that are a little off the wall. I think when we come to people as we are, who we are, I think that it's a lot more acceptable, and it's not to try to bend yourself to be accepted. It's just, I've known many of people who, were into cars and trucks, and all of a sudden they get into this stuff and they start using these fluffy words, thuses and thous, and I'm trying to follow them in a conversation and I don't get it. I'm like, I don't know where you're going. I'm so sorry, but you've totally left this plane. I mean,
yeah, their persona changes.
Yes, because they become bigger than the mission.
Well, that's ego. That's all ego.
So they soar with the eagles with their ego. So it's so ridiculous. I just don't get it. So I appreciate that you are, who you are, because
I'm real. I am real.
You're real. I poked him with a big stick and he's a real person.
Ouch.
So now, okay, so you really you went in a whole different area of your profession. You went from printing into this odd but inspiring thing. So, I mean, how does a person? I mean, okay, I am a regular person for the most part, but I started in college just dabbling and putting the word on these things. But so you set up shop. I mean, you're in Canada, eh?
Yeah.
I'm from Wisconsin, so some of the people there talk like that, So, just say about once. Just say, no, I'm just kidding. but there you go. And the people of in northern Wisconsin, they don't say shouldn't, wouldn't. They say shunt and kunt. It's funny. I love it. But I mean, so how do you go and you set up shop and you're like, if you build it, people will come. I mean, it's such a different thing. I mean, how did you get to that point? Like, I know I can do this.
Well, obviously, everything I've done in my life beforehand has been preparing me and leading me to this. This is 100% gifted healing, and that's the only way to describe it. You don't just pick up a book and learn how to do this. This is completely gifted. Everything I've done in my life, I've been looking after people basically all my life since I was 14. My mother being extremely ill, then my father being extremely ill, then my late wife, she had an illness, her parents were ill, and I was always looking after people in certain respects.
I see. That's you know what? It almost seems like, I mean, you were the caretaker. It was like honing your skills for healing, as you say, just to, be able to bring this service to people. And you have to be a super, super kind soul to do that even. Caregivers really don't get much of a break. And to have to go through some of the stuff that you had, I just can't imagine the inner strength that you have.
It certainly wasn't easy in a lot of aspects. But you know what? Here I am today. All is good. And all I want to do is help people.
Exactly. So let's get into how do you help people? I mean, what's the number one thing or issues that people come in with that you're able to help with?
You know what? It's something of everything. I mean, it changes every day. Lately, working on a lot of kids with ADHD and that type of thing. There's one community in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where I worked on a child and made a miraculous change first time around. So all of a sudden, all these other parents are bringing me their kids, okay, and I'm working on ADHD type things. So that was pretty huge. Every day there's different aches and pains that people are coming in with, digestive disorders, cardiovascular problems, high blood pressure, you name it. It's everything. Lots of depression, mental problems. It's just everything, and everything comes into my clinic.
And now, is this something that you have to, okay, say a person comes in and they have a severe problem with low back pain. I mean, how many times does a person need to see you, and how long does it last?
It depends on how chronic the problem is. If it's just an ache or a pain that's been there for, let's say, 8-10 months or a year or something like that, 1 or 2 treatments just might do it, okay? It all depends on how accurate I am with my pendulum and if I find the right answer. When you're working within universal realms and this dimension, the universal law says if you identify something, it has to go away, okay? You just can't say remove the pain. You have to know what's causing the pain. In most people's cases, a pain in the muscles is going to be excess iron buildup or calcium or something like that within the muscle. So if you know what it is, you use the pyramid, you tell the excess iron to go away out of the muscle, and it immediately goes away. And within 48 hours, a person has got pretty much full relief.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, are you able to heal something that is broken, literally like a bone, and you could say, heal. I know what's broken. I know what the problem is. Heal. Get to it.
You know what? If the bone is set already, there are energies that I can run into that bone to make it heal faster. Okay, like a lot faster within weeks instead of, a couple of weeks instead of 6 weeks. That type of thing. It'll heal stronger. There'll be less. We take all the trauma out of the break and all these different energy components that accompany something like that. So just by adding certain energies, definitely things can heal a lot faster.
So you can't pull something together and say, "Come together, bones, and heal."
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I have a challenge for you, Chris.
All right.
I'm probably the only person you're going to meet like this, but I don't know. There's somebody in Joe's family like me, with their head not connected, and I'm not kidding. My head is not connected. My C1, C2 is broken. Oh. It's always been like this. Did not know it. So when I tell you I have a screw loose, I am not kidding, Chris. I am not kidding. It is literally broken, and it'll remain that way unless I allow some madness to be done, and I'm not going to allow it. So, so it's my neck is broken. So put the whammy on me. How do you do this?
Okay. First of all, I need a pyramid, and that's upstairs in my kitchen. So you know what? At the break, I will go get it, and we will run some energy over the internet. And
You're kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. We can actually do a session for everybody listening. Okay, I can run energy through the internet. And everybody who's listening, if you're touching your computer, you're going to feel the energy. That's the wonderful thing about the tools that I use is that you actually feel something happening. I did this on another call, and all my work is done on the internet, on telephone, on the internet. I got a few people that come in my office in the city of Winnipeg, but I've got clients all over the world. And this
No.
is all done over Skype. It's all done over the telephone.
If you could fix a broken neck over the internet, I swear, I will be your biggest groupie.
Get in line. It's all a matter of what needs to be done. Okay. So I need to get instructions. So that's something that would probably take, a good half hour, 45 minutes to delve into with the pendulum to know exactly what to do. If you don't do it right, it's not going to work. But I can run energy into your neck, and you may feel a tingle going on within your neck.
Well, hey, let's tangle away. That's fascinating. And something that you said was interesting when you were talking about how you identify what the problem is, and so you could command it to heal itself. Now that reminds me of like exorcists who go up to a demon and say, "Tell me your name, demon." And once they get the name, the power is reverted to the priest, and they're able to control the demon. So they try not to reveal their name.
That's right.
This is what it sounds like to me.
It's basically what it is. Identification is key. Okay. If there's a bacterial infection involved, there's, let's say, 150 different bacterial types of infections. If you just use a general, remove bacteria, it may not work very well because sometimes you have to identify the bacteria. Is it strep? Is it aspergillus? Is it a fungus? You have to identify it in order for it to work properly.
I see. It makes sense. It makes sense because I tell people, like, even when it comes to these more negative entities, it's like they hide in the dark for a reason, because once you're able to identify who your enemy is, you got the upper hand. But because they're able to hide, well, it's a little bit more difficult.
Well, and hiding that's also the key. With the charts that I use, I'm able to deeply find a lot of these entities, a lot of these stressors, these illnesses that are hiding within our body. We all have what's called the dark matter in our body, which is all the spaces between the molecules and the cells. And this is where a lot of entities and ETs and different things like to hide, because they don't think you can find them. But they, I can find them.
And what are you calling these spaces again?
Dark matter.
Dark matter. There's a lot of dark matter between my two ears. But, but I get it. It's just like I try to just explain to people, like, well, how did that alien walk through the wall? I'm like, well, there's more holes in that wall than there is solid material. And they're like, I don't get it. It's like, well, it's just the matter of science. So they're able to essentially see the holes for what they are as an exit, and they go right through them.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's just what it is. Now, you work with spirit guides, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. My name is Joe. I'm just kidding. But now, really, so when you're working, do your spirit guides come in and work with you, alongside you, or through you?
All of the above. Sometimes I can feel them touching my head. Sometimes, they're moving the pendulum. I'm swinging my pendulum right now, just inadvertently, and it's, it may start to spell something out. And I'm giving the pendulum motion, but my guides actually push the pendulum to the letter or to the word that they want me to know about. So that's basically the way a pendulum works anyway. It's your guides that are actually giving you the answer.
I see. Well, it's interesting, and it makes sense. And it's such a different realm. It really, really is of understanding for people. And I'm wondering what came first for you, though. Did so you went into the healing stuff, and then the spirit guides came, or the spirit guides were sitting there waiting for you? How did that go?
Basically, your spirit guides can change as your needs change, and mine have changed quite a bit. When I first started, I don't know what spirit guides I had because I wasn't at that level yet. But the more I advanced, the higher levels I got to an energy, the better spirit guides came in. Right now, my main spirit guide, his name is Kehler, and when he was on Earth, he was the Pharaoh Khufu. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody's asking here in the chat room. They're asking, what degrees or training do you have?
I've got certification in working with radionics, which is working with frequencies. Okay, there are different types of radionic devices out there that you can use to make vibrational medicine and that type of thing. I'm certified in quantum touch, which is basically the sister to Reiki. And those are the 2 degrees I have. With the energy work, there's really no degree you can get in this because basically it's my own developed protocol. So, if I want to give myself a degree, I can go and do that, but it's not necessary.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that was from Kat in the chat room. So thank you, Kat.
Yeah, a lot of people always look for credibility. What training do you have, and ultimately, okay, you know what? Look at all the training doctors have, and people go see doctors for all their health problems, and the doctors can't help them. They come to me, and I fix their health problem. There's my credibility right there.
Well, you know what? I always say it's called medical practice because they're just practicing. It does not say expert yet on the door. So trust me, with this broken neck, I have been through the ringer, and I'm actually a medical professional myself, and I don't always tell them my background and just let them talk and shovel big piles of brown lumpy stuff. And I'm like, oh, you really are just, wow. If somebody really didn't have a clue, I would have been screwed. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I don't buy into a whole lot of the stuff that's put out there. If there's a natural route to go, I say go that route, because I think that God gave us lots of gifts that we don't always hone in on, and you seem to bring in those elements to try to hone in on it. And do you teach people how to actually heal thyself in some respects too?
I do have a student in London, England, who's doing very well with it. So lots of people are interested in my work, and they're like, "Can I do this?" And I says, "Why not? If you're interested, if you have an aptitude for it, and you want to go with it, I'll show you how to do it. It's really not that difficult. All you got to do is open your mind and know what a health problem can be. For instance, you know how deep sea divers, they dive down deep, and if you come up too fast, you get the bends, right? You get nitrogen gas bubbles in your body, carbon gases, and they expand, and they're going to cause a lot of pain and problems in your body. Why can't you have that without deep sea diving? Okay? Mm-hmm. So if you're a person when the barometric pressure changes and your foot hurts, well, wouldn't that look just like the bends? So you have to open your mind to realize what the health problem can be, and that's when I started really getting far into the whole extraterrestrial realm and the whole spirit realm. Spirits get in your body every day, and if there's one attached to you, it's going to cause a health problem.
Oh, I believe that. I really do. I think there's a lot of strings being pulled, and we just don't know it because we don't see it. So we only know what we see. But we're going to get to our next and last break here, Chris. You guys are listening to me, Heidi Hollis, the Outlander on Inception Radio Network, and we will be right back.
Listening to IRN, the Inception Radio Network, Chicago, Illinois.
Do you have a smartphone? If so, Inception Radio Network is the best app for you. Available on iTunes, Android, Samsung, and most other app stores. Just search Inception Radio Network. With the app you can listen live, check out podcasts of recent and past shows, view our videos, see what shows are coming up, who the guests are, and, via the chat room, send live questions to those guests. You know it makes sense. Check your app store now. Inception Radio Network. I'll see you there.
Hi, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Just a reminder that Inception Radio Network is on Twitter. Follow us at I_R_N and keep up to date about who's on tonight, what interviews they'll be doing, who's guest spotting, what topics they'll be covering. Tweet to us, tweet about us, retweet topics to your friends, and most importantly, never miss a great show again. That's I_R_N.
Don't have a computer? Is your internet connection down? Don't worry. Use your trusty landline or cell phone and dial our call and listen lines at 832-280-0830 or 786-837-2262 to listen to the Inception Radio Network 24/7. Again, those numbers are 832-280-0830 or 786-837-2262. For the Inception Radio Network, I'm MJ.
Are you a fan of Inception Radio Network? Do you reckon it's the best alternative talk radio station on the planet? Well, if you do, head to facebook.com/Inception Radio Network and like the page. Tell your friends, spread the word, and keep listening to the best.
Hello, folks. Heidi Hollis is rocking the airwaves every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on IRN. But if you want to learn more about Heidi, check out her amazing website at www.HeidiHollis.com. For IRN, this is MJ.
Get advice on aliens to ghosts, demons to angels, and from shadow people to the outlandish. Explore the paranormal with Heidi Hollis. The Outlander.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to me, Heidi Hollis, the Outlander. Remembering, always if it's weird, we're here, and now you are too, and so is Chris Kehler. So we are talking about some very interesting stuff. Chris Kehler, he is a quantum energy healer, and he can reach this energy across the internet worldwide, okay? And so I gave him a little bit of a challenge with my head that is not attached to my body. That's right. I could do the exorcist vomit in a second, but I'm not. Just do that total 360. But yeah, so he is he's going to show us a little bit of something that all of us should be able to feel, essentially, right, Chris?
Okay, so yeah, what we're going to do, first of all, one of the tools I use, first of all, it's called a neutralization ring, and it looks like a basketball hoop with spikes on the inside of it. It almost looks like a bear trap. I got pictures of them on my website. I'm going to put this over my computer, okay? And everybody who's listening, if you want to try and feel this energy, what I want you to do is just make sure you're one way or another holding on to your computer. If you got a headset on, great. If you don't, just touch the keyboard or something. So I'm going to put this on the computer, and I want everybody, if you can, to stand up, okay?
I'm standing.
This is a group effort. So what I want you to watch for is a heaviness within your lower legs, or you might feel really off balance, like you can't control standing. So we're going to give that about 30 seconds. And Heidi, I want you to tell me when you feel something happening within your body, kind of like a heaviness, almost like your body's trying to be pulled into the ground.
Well, I was saying at the top of the hour I was tired anyways tonight, so I feel heaviness.
I mean, this is particular heaviness in a certain area of your body.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying. In my legs, you're saying?
Your legs, you might feel it in your hands. You might feel really off balance.
Okay. I yeah.
It takes a few seconds.
Broken neck makes you off balance anyway, so I already got that. So okay, let's. I guess I'm off balance as it is. So let's go there then.
This is more of a swinging motion. Your body's going to start to swing back and forth.
Okay.
Give it a second. So everybody at home, if you're feeling kind of weird and you don't like it, just let go of the computer.
Maybe I'm not good for this.
Well, you know what? Some people are, some people aren't.
Yeah, I have a hard time meditating even. Like
Oh, you know what? I can't meditate.
Oh, I fall asleep. I get a good nap. Okay, does it count if your head feels stuffy?
If you're feeling some kind of adjustment in your body, it could be it.
Okay.
But there's probably a lot of people feeling it right now. This works. These tools are incredible. There's just no denying that something is definitely happening. Okay, so we're going to stop that because that could take a little while for it to really kick in.
Okay.
So I'm gonna run some energy into your neck. Okay.
Should I sit back down?
You can sit back down. That's cool.
Okay,
just relax. Right. So I use my pendulum, and I douse that you've got an extraterrestrial within your neck. Okay, which is not where I come from. It's not so far fetched. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to We're going to run the violet bowl through Heidi's neck. So that's an energy designed to remove all extraterrestrials and spirits within a certain area of your body. So let me know if you feel a tingle or something happening within your body somewhere. Run the violet bowl through Heidi's neck. Vertebrae, discs. See, on my end, I get a really big pull. It's like having a fish on the line.
I see. I have some alien ties. Maybe if you disconnect me, I'll fall over. Truly.
Okay,
I've seen some of those little buggers.
Remove all gray aliens from Heidi's neck.
Oh, I hate them. Get out.
Zeta reticuli. Bleh. Get all zeta reticuli out of the neck.
Oh, get going. Come on, Grace. Go.
Oh, there they are. Oh, yuck. Okay, you might have felt a little something.
I might be thick-headed, Chris.
Well, you know what? It is what it is. Lots of people feel the energy. Some people don't. Could be the situation. Did I just discredit myself? No, I did not, because we did do some changes in your body.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, hey, I'm open. I mean, really, I am. I'm open. I don't poo-poo nothing. Truly.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, and it's all for good, you know. So hey, I had. Maybe you don't know this about me, but I've seen some grays, and I had a gray that did try to essentially nestle into my head at one point. I mean, it sounds crazy. I don't care, but I've seen some crazy things, Chris, and I essentially kicked it out. So, so I've dealt with some.
Well, we're basically all born with a gray alien inside our body, and they generally are within our head or our abdomen or something like that.
Whoa.
And they're there to do research on our DNA because their DNA is damaged, and they want to find some answers on how to fix them. Okay, so they're looking at our DNA all the time. Now the Zetas, the gray aliens, they're also in cahoots with the devil.
Of course they are. You must have read my book. Oh my God, Chris! Have read. Oh my goodness!
This is just what I find out with my pendulum. This is what it tells me, that they are in cahoots with the devil. That the devil gets them to do things. They're also part of black magic and voodoo and that type of thing. I've done a lot of research on voodoo and black magic and what it really is. There's a lot of cultures that practice different forms of it, but when you boil it down, if you take the work that I do and call it white magic, of course there can be black magic. So people can take energy and use it for dark, intense. Okay.
Right.
Now, when people are doing that, there is also a poltergeist involved, which is a spirit that is wandering the earth, and it becomes a zombie and becomes enslaved to these people that are trying to commit voodoo. So they get into your chakra system, they get into your body, and they carry out the intent of the person who is wanting to commit this voodoo against you. Wow. Okay, so when I remove a voodoo spell from somebody, you got to find the poltergeist, get it out, you got to remove the voodoo spell, wherever it is, and you return it to sender, and then you do some disconnections within the seventh dimension. That's where voodoo and black magic happens, is the seventh dimension. So you need to cut connections with that area, and then things get a lot better.
I totally understand that, and I have to tell you too. I'm reading some of the comments here in the chat room, and people were feeling something as you were sending that energy out. So they were saying, I feel something. Okay, there we go. So I want to know where you and why you feel that the grays are allowed to have access to every single human being to nestle into their bodies like that.
Well, it's not just the grays. It's the reptilians. It's the Fu. There's so many different multi-dimensional beings out there that just enjoy coming to our little third dimension planet and causing havoc and just playing games and using us for experiments and okay, so let's put it this way. When aliens need to eat something, they don't eat food, they eat energy. Okay. Now, here's the big thing. Now, if you think about, okay, how can this guy hold a pyramid over somebody's head and tell something to go away and it goes away? It's all about the energy we have. Every human on the planet has the potential to have the energy of a supernova.
Okay.
Okay, so we are all powerful. We are that. But all these different beings are keeping our energy down so we don't get to that level, so that they can still use us as food, as experiments, as entertainment, whatever they want. Okay, so we've been basically suppressed of our energy, and when you do all these releases of all these ETs, the devil, Beelzebub, Satan, whatever the heck you want to call this son of a gun, then it raises our energy up. Okay, we go to a higher vibration, different levels within a dimension, and then we can start to realize exactly what our gifts are and how powerful we really are.
Oh, I think I often say people doubt their human potential, and they really need to not do that, because these things see nothing but potential and looking at us as their next victim, So definitely finding a way to boost our energies and to push these things away is key. And I could see, oftentimes I get so many people are like, oh, this is going on with me. I don't know what to do. And I tell them, hey, pray and bring in the, name of Jesus and God and pray and push this stuff out, and have no doubts that you can do that. But to stand up against these things alone is a big, daunting task. And now you're serving as somebody who, for those people who have a harder time, to help and be that go-between to help people help themselves, essentially. And
yeah, that's right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I get a lot of healers that come to see me for clearing. Okay, people who do Reiki and you're running energy with your hands. You don't know what you're absorbing. Okay, lots of people who are really good at it know how to protect themselves, and that's all good. But people who are just practicing or goofing around on the computer or something, they pull in an entity. They pull in some kind of dark force. And if they're doing healing work, you don't want to be doing healing work with an entity inside you, because now that entity can pass on just like a virus. Now, to talk about the Greys and the reptilians for a minute, the guy who makes my tools in Alberta, Canada, he is the highest vibrational person on the planet. His job, other than making tools, is to go down into the energy of the Earth grid and clear it out of all of these aliens, these dark beings, and all these different things that are trying to keep us down, so that the Earth itself can go into the fifth dimension that's coming very soon.
Oh, I see. I know that a lot of people, they're even chatting about it a little bit in the chat room here, saying how, some of these aliens, they have a hard time believing that they're evil. And I'm like, you stand face to face with one of these things, and it's showing you images of your dead child, or it rips open your gut and then puts it back together while you're screaming in agony. You don't feel real fuzzy feelings about it.
No. There are good aliens out there.
Yes.
There's Palladians, Arcturians, Agarthans. There's all these different other multidimensional beings that are here on Earth right now to protect us.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of angelic humans are here. I actually know Archangel Gabriel. Okay, he's a friend of mine.
That is a popular angel. He gets around.
He gets around. His name is Steve.
I swear. Oh, my goodness.
Shout out to Steve. Yeah.
Everybody is in touch with Gabriel. I'm like, gosh, he does not get any rest, this poor, I don't know. But I understand. But, it is important for people to know. All they hear is about these negative aliens and what they're doing to people. But, I personally have seen more of the positive ones than the negative ones. So I'm with you that, we need to give more credit where it's due, that there's a lot more good in the universe than bad. But the bad sure do make a lasting impression and makes converts out of people where they're building, I don't know, embassies to aliens. Hello, Raelian Nation. It's something else. And then there's the people that, of course, channel the Greys, like, ooh, they're the best thing ever. Love them. Allow them into your life. Well, they're already infiltrating. Time to block this. And kudos to you for, trying to teach people how to clear themselves of this stuff. People are so in the here and now. Do you find that's kind of one of your harder task, is teaching people how to get out of the here and now and realize the spiritual warfare they're in the middle of?
You know what? It's not my job to try and convert people, because ultimately you can't. The only people that come see me or access my work are people who are already there, or people who want to be there and just need a little help getting there. There's no way that I can try to convert somebody. In my clinic, I work with a homeopathic doctor. Okay, homeopathy is a form of energy work. So this doctor had a client who wanted to come see me to do a live blood analysis, okay, which I do in my office, just to get a different perspective on things. So I started to show her my energy work. She goes, okay, well, I don't know if I believe that. I says, do you want to try it? She goes, okay. And she just laughed. You know, you hold a pyramid over somebody's head, mumble some strange words, and they're like, are you serious? This is going to heal me? I says, if you wanted to, it will. And you just can't convert everybody, which is cool, and I respect that. Okay, but when people see the difference in somebody else's health problem, and they go, well, what happened? Oh, I saw this healer guy, and it starts people thinking. And you know, right now the energy is shifting towards the fifth dimension, and people are starting to wake up and realize, okay, there's something more out there than just a doctor's pill, waiting in the waiting room for 5 hours, getting a pat on the head, go home and deal with your problem yourself kind of thing. People are waking up, and you know, my business is just getting more and more busier. You know, it is incredible. Over the last year and a half, I've probably tripled my clientele, and people are just in love with this work because of what it does.
And you know, isn't it fun? Aren't you having a blast doing what
you have no idea. You know, I'll do 12 hours a day sometimes and not even blink an eye as to what time it is, because you know, everything is different. Everybody's appreciative. Everybody's getting great results, and you're just having a ball with it.
Yeah, it is nice to see people feel better. You know, about anything and everything, and you know, just to boost them in the right direction. I think that's awesome. And you know, it's like I'm for, you know, what is aiming for good and to have a positive outcome, and to, you know, to essentially bring us up to a different level. I mean, I have my Christian perspective. That's what I roll with. But I think people should have the perspective of lots of things, because cramming anything down anybody's throat is not what it's about. It's about sharing and let people pick as they may to understand and bring it into their world as they want.
That's right.
Yeah,
you know, I got remarried 3 years ago, and my wife and I, we had a 2-year-old boy. Okay, we got a 2-year-old boy now. And you know, the kid's going through teething like crazy. Okay, so my wife, she comes from the medical community also. She works in a hospital, and she kind of believes what I do, because I did some work on her. I helped her with her knees and stuff, and she supports me with this. Okay, she doesn't understand it. She doesn't try to understand it, but she knows there's something to it. But you know what? If push came to shove, she would go to the doctor first, and I respect her for that. So what happened is my boy is teething like crazy. He is screaming. It's 2 a.m. He's got a fever. His cheeks are red, and he's having a heck of a time with it. So I took my pyramid. I said, there's got to be something I can do about this, because I need to sleep. So I took my pyramid in front of my wife. He's on her bed, and I held it over him, and I asked the Agarthans to wrap him in a blanket of compassion. Within 1.1 seconds, he jumped off the bed, started laughing and playing.
Oh, wow.
Right in front of my wife. She looks at me and goes, I think I start to understand what you're doing now.
Holy smokes. Might have something to do with that. Somebody says in the chat room you look like Bruce Willis. Maybe that's...
Is that Hayden?
I don't know who put that in there, but yeah. So, and somebody's asking also, what are your views on religion?
My views on religion, okay. Religion, now I'm not. I don't want to disrespect anybody, okay? But Christianity, all these different types of religions are all man-made to certain extents, okay? My view is spirituality, just believing that God is there, that Jesus is there, that all these different realms of the universe are there to help us, and that, you know, you can call on them. The angels will help you. There's all these different aspects that are there. But as far as the Bible itself, the only book in the Bible that I believe has any validity is the Book of Revelations. Okay,
if you went all the way to the back.
I went all the way to the back. Yeah, if my friend Archangel Gabriel, Steve, he said, read Revelations. You got to read Revelations. Even my pendulum said, read Revelations 20.8. okay, and that talks about the pit of hell opening and these demons coming out riding black horses with iron breastplates. And what these demons are designed to do is to create havoc within our lives, want us to commit suicide, to make us ill, to reduce the population. That's what their purpose is. That's what your shadow people are. They're called the Fu, F-U. Okay, no pun intended. I don't know. That's what the pendulum says.
I say it all day long. I'm just kidding.
but that's where I stand on religion. I'm a spiritualist. I was brought up a strict Mennonite. Okay, from the deep Mennonite south of Manitoba. My mom is one of 17 kids. My dad is one of 12 kids. Big families, lots of church every Sunday and the whole bit. And I just broke away from all that. I knew that it wasn't for me.
But it sounds like you give credit to God and Jesus quite a bit.
100%.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to clarify 100%. That because somebody didn't catch that, but you did say that. And, I understand about, the religion are the practices to get to understanding your spirituality. The religions are the traditions, and I am not even one that gets up on Sunday mornings, okay? So, I believe in my belief religiously, but I don't follow the religion, but I'm Christian. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, that's what you sound like to me. It's like you didn't feel like there are that many rules to getting where you need to be.
That's right.
Gotcha. Now, how can people get a hold of you? And, my goodness, you're accessible worldwide from Canada.
Yes.
And you're able to, feel out what's going on with people and help them out. So how can they get a hold of you?
My website, chriskehler.net. Don't do chriskehler.com because that guy's an accountant. You'll find chriskehler.com as an accountant. Okay, you don't want to go there. You want to go chriskehler.net. I got about 50 videos on YouTube that show my philosophies. I talk about my philosophies and different things. I do demonstrations with the tools, and there's actually some on there that you can feel the energy. I've got an instant headache cure. If you've got a headache, you watch this video, touch the computer, your headache goes away. So I've got lots of information there. My email is CKEHLER100 at shaw.ca. Okay. All my contact info is on my website. If you get a hold of me, contact me tomorrow, I will get back to you tomorrow. I'm very easy to get a hold of. I'm not one of these guys who likes to let you wait for a week or two and make you think that you're talking to somebody important. That's not the way it is. I'm not stuck up. I have no ego. All I want to do is help you. So it's very easy to get a hold of me, and I'm looking forward to talking to anybody who has a question, who wants to get rid of a health problem. My fees, okay. $10,000 an hour. Just kidding.
Wonderful. Great.
$50 a session.
Oh, that's nice.
If we have to do PayPal, it's $55 because they charge a fee. So,
gotcha.
So you know what? Everybody can afford this. I want to be accessible to everybody. Not everybody has a lot of money. Mm-hmm. People are leery about the sessions because they don't know what to expect. So if you're only spending $50 to see how it goes, you're not out any money.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. I want to put in a question here because I like to pose this to all my people who come on this show, no matter what. Have you ever personally experienced something odd and out of the ordinary yourself? Let's go there. Let's hear it. Chris.
Odd and ordinary?
Yes. Aliens. I don't care what it is.
There was one time a reptilian did come face to face with me while I was kind of in and out of sleep. And within my third eye, I could see him. His eyes were right next to my eyes, and he shifted his eyes back and forth, and I can see the blue-green color within his skin. And he shifted his eyes back and forth, says, "I'm out of here." So that was something that happened probably a year ago. Oh geez, you know what? I'm not one of these people who see energy or sense it in any kind of way like that. I don't hear voices of my guides. Everything's done through my pendulum. The odd time I see little blue flashes of light, which are my guides who are just saying, "I'm here for you." But as far as odd stuff go, it's just everything that I do within my office and the the results I get, the answers I get with my pendulum. It teaches me. It's bringing me to different levels of my spirituality and my whole work I'm doing, and it's teaching me things. Like when I used the pyramid on you, and I said, run the violet bowl through your neck. Well, when you're working with energy, a lot of people use things like the diamond flame, the violet flame, the blue flame, the green flame. They all have their specific. They're like a tool, okay? Now, when you take, let's say, the violet bowl, it consists of the violet flame and gold light. Okay, what gold light does is it'll connect any entity in your body to God, and the violet flame will bring that ET or that entity into ether, okay, into the etheric realms. So when you put the two together, the name is called the violet bull. So it goes through your body like a bull in a china shop and just clears everything out. So if anybody does energy work and you feel you have an attachment, just invoke the violet bull. You'll feel a tingle and stuff will go away. It works that good.
You're literally talking about the animal bull.
Yes.
Okay, now I want to tell you something that's very strange about what you're mentioning here, because I am a Taurus, and
so am I.
Purple is my favorite color.
Okay.
So violet bull, I'm like, really? And honestly, like, people who are psychic, whatever, they'll come up to me and they're like, oh, most of your aura is white with violet around the edges, and it's happened to me over the years, over and over. It's the same thing over and over. So. I heard that's supposed to be really good. I don't know, but
you know what? There's a lot of people who can see the colors in the aura, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But to be able to read the aura is another thing. Okay, so they see a little bit of black in a certain area, or the aura is shifted off its axis a little bit. You have to be able to know what is causing that. So within my charts, my open-mindedness, I work within about 50 different bodies in the aura, where most people say there's 7 or 8 or something like that: physical, emotional, mental, causal, astral, and etheric, those types of things. But I go deep into the aura, so I encompass the soul, I encompass the oversoul, the avatar of the soul, the rishi level of the soul. I work within your law of attraction. Everybody knows about The Secret, okay? If your law of attraction, if you're trying to manifest things and it doesn't work, that's because there's disruption in there. There's an entity in there trying to make it not work. So I can clear it out, put it all back together, make it work for you.
You know what? I don't think people realize exactly how much there is hanging out there in the world on people. I used to be very much just seeing things, lurking, hanging on people. And I'm not a psychic, but I'm like, what is that? And it was just the strangest thing, and I'm glad I've been able to essentially block some of it out. So it's awesome now. But I mean, every once in a while I'll see something dangling, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. But Chris Kehler, I really want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. This was a blast, and hopefully we'll get to talk again.
That would be great. You know what? I love your show. I've listened to it a few times, and I think that there is a lot that we can talk about on other occasions.
Oh, I love it. I look forward to it. Well, you guys, once again, another end to another fun show. Remember, you can catch me here every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Central. You've been listening to me, Heidi Hollis, the Outlander, on Inception Radio Network. Remembering always, if it's weird, we're here. Good night, everybody.